Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. And it's great to be having all of you tune us in and turn us on. Today's show is It's Not What You Think It Is, the United States of China, with playwright and producer Nicholas Vasili. I would love to introduce Nicholas to you. For those of you out there, Nicholas Vasili's professional career spans a period of over 48 years, during which time he conducted more than 15,000 individual and group sessions, trained untold members of therapists, and helped create the foundation for many of the group dynamics now used in the United States, drawing from a wider range of treatment modalities and concepts such as reality encounter, confrontational therapy, hypnosis, mind programming, now we know that to be NLP, psychodrama, psychomotor, sensitivity training, resistance stretching, transcendental meditation, Eastern philosophies, and many, many more. Conventional psychotherapy, which exemplify the 70s era philosophy. 65, he was named executive director of Encounter, Inc. in New York City, which was America's first community-based drug prevention and treatment facility and regarded more like a main branch of the National Institute of Mental Health. 69, he founded his own therapeutic center in New York called Journey Alert, nonprofit educational corporation that treated all manner of human problems, all forms of addictions. Over the years, he also worked with war veterans, which is absolutely a must in today's world. He has lectured, he has spoken hundreds of audiences, made numerous guest appearances on radio and television, interviewed on many talk shows, participated in seminars, debates, city, state, national training programs, and directly involved in the rebirth of the humanistic movement in America. 2007, he wrote his autobiography, So Much Pleasure, So Little Pain, and authored Monument to Failure, a 30-year comprehensive study of the American healthcare system. 2009, he published Depression, It Doesn't Exist, a guide to understanding, preventing, and curing depression. But here he is today, and unlike most therapists, doctors, psychologists, he has been along the way and on a journey. Beyond all of that, he is a playwright, someone that has sat down and said, I've got a message. The message today and the play of the day, and really the play that is here in Seattle area, it is a full-length play opening in Seattle, and you're going to hear much more about it, what it is about, what it means, the United States of China. We have a new venue, a new location for it. Changes in dates, which we're going to also talk about. But Nicholas is here to talk about what happened on the way to making a play. And so this message today is to talk about what this is like, what the journey has been like, but most importantly, why did Nicholas and the team have to suddenly change the venue from the Cornish Playhouse? Nicholas, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
I'm delighted to be here, Dr. Pat.
Well, that's the question. So what happened? You were going to be at Cornish. Now you're not at Cornish. Now you're at the Palladium at Hales Brewery. So what changed?
Well, out of nowhere, I get an email roughly 2 weeks ago from Cornish saying they had canceled our rental agreement. There was no explanation, nothing whatsoever. they were simply going to cancel. When I emailed back and said what happened, they said it just strange, unusual circumstances no longer make the theater available in July, which was an outright lie. I immediately started contacting various people at Cornish, at the college itself. I emailed and called the president of Cornish, the board of directors, and a number of other people in various administrative positions. And a day later, I get an email from someone who is called a communications advisor for Cornish, saying that they wanted to solve the problem and resolve it in every way possible, and would I be willing to meet with them? I said, sure, I'll meet with them. And they called a meeting, and I sat down with them. They were two legal puppets sent by Cornish who came to basically order me to sign an agreement that is among the most egregious things I've ever seen in my life. A slumlord wouldn't allow such a thing, much less a college of an educational institution like Cornish. Basically, the agreement stipulated that they would rescind its notice of cancellation and permit the scheduled use of the playhouse, providing that I adhere to all the terms of the rental agreement. I had already adhered to all the terms of the rental agreement. There had been a production meeting at Cornish, which they called, at which time, before 7 other witnesses, we went through all the agreement completely, the entire contract, all of the paperwork necessary. They signed off on everything, so everything had been adhered to. The second point was I waive any and all claims regarding or arising out of Cornish's notice of cancellation, including any claims for damage of any nature. Why would I do that? I had already lost a great deal of money, time, and energy as a result of promoting, ticketing, postering the event, and here they canceled without any reason whatsoever, and they say I should just ignore it. Then they add another point: Mr. Vasily will not disparage or defame Cornish's trustees, officers, and employees. In other words, I've got to shut my mouth. Furthermore, Mr. Vasily will not threaten, intimidate, or engage in hostile conduct toward any Cornish trustees, officers, or employees, and will cooperate with them in completing the terms of the rental agreement. This basically is alluding to some idea that they're trying to plant that we posed a threat to Cornish students and the campus itself. That's what they concocted in order to protect themselves from what they were doing. Next, Mr. Vasily will not in any way represent or suggest that his play has been approved, endorsed, or supported by Cornish, or that Cornish is in any way associated with it. That was in the contract from the very beginning, and that was complied with fully. Last thing, nothing in this agreement shall be construed as waiving Cornish's right to enforce any provision of the rental agreement, which means that if I agree to this, 7 days before the actual production, after more time, energy, and money is spent, they could turn away on a whim and say, well, we've decided to cancel again. This is what they expected me to sign. I, of course, refused. At that point, the individual who had arranged the whole booking turned to an envelope in her pocket and said, well, do you want your rent deposit refunded? And I said, that's up to you. So, you tell me what you want to do. And she looked at me and says, well, I'd like that. Give me that agreement back. She was talking about the document she had handed me to sign. And I said, no, I'm keeping it. At which point, all three of them turned green in the face. They were terrified of this because this is such a damning piece of evidence against them. And then she tried to kind of maneuver herself and say, well, you do want your deposit back. I said, you can keep it, but I'm not giving you this agreement back. I want this made public, which I'm doing now. I'm making this document public, this slumlord document posed by a college in Seattle, an educational institution. What's behind all of this, Dr. Pat and the audience? One simple thing. Someone got wind of the nature of the script, the United States of China, and whether they read it or not, they decided they didn't want to see it in Cornish Playhouse. In other words, they were going to censor this, the same way the Taproot Theater did several months ago when they refused to rent their theater to us because of the nature of the play. In other words, we're going back to the McCarthy era and all of that madness that we experienced in America right here in Seattle with Cornish College. Can you imagine?
Wow. What a story. Boy, this is a play you can write, isn't it? We're going to take a short break, Nicholas. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what is the next step then here for Nicholas, and where is the play going to be? Lots to talk about, everybody. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to give you some information about I can't wait to hear what Nicholas is going to do. But the next thing, most importantly as well, is where is the play going to be held, everybody? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Pat. I wanted to tell you about a new, powerful, and compelling play by Nicholas Vasili. Coming to Seattle July 8th at the Palladium at Hale's Brewery, the United States of China.
On one hand, a dedicated American patriot who would give her life for her country. On the other hand, someone who has been battling the injustice and corruption of America most of her life. And she is as confused as any American could be about what she truly believes in. My play, The United States of China, is about the trial of Miriam Hopkins, who is a metaphor for all that America stands for.
This is more than a play experience. It's a movement. It's a movement to create a new level of awareness. Knowledge is power, and we are powerful. Get your tickets today at americathestrong.com.
What if your body and mind were the compasses to the secrets, mysteries, and magic of life? Glenna Rice, co-host of The Questionable Parent, is inviting you to access all that is possible. Glenna is a 10-year certified veteran access consciousness facilitator who offers an amazing variety of life-changing classes and workshops. Work with Glenna from anywhere, with teleclasses and workshops all over the globe. To learn more and see Glenna's current schedule of events, classes, and workshops, visit glennarice.com.
There are so many resources out there for meditation. But did you know that Atana's Heart Earth Healing Meditation is available for you for free? Yes, that's right. You can receive this free healing meditation today from Atana Badili. All you need to do is visit his website, atanamethod.com. That's ATAANA method.com, and sign up. You will receive your free meditation instantly. That's atanamethod.com.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine, and my show is Sheer Alchemy on TransformationTalkRadio.com. When we're bogged down with our emotions, the hardships that plague us in our relationships, at work, our finances, we literally can't see the higher plane where we could be operating from. Tune in to Leslie Fontaine, Sheer Alchemy on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Almost everyone at some time in their lives ask themselves, what am I? Most of our questions are ego-generated and simply don't address the problem of our false self. It's time to relax your ego and embody your soul. Dr. Dan Cohen, neurologist, inventor, and author, has created tools to awaken a new way to transform from who you thought you were into what you truly are. Visit toolstoawaken.com today.
Are you into it? For the month of April, take a picture in your Intuit apparel and post it on Facebook for all to see and receive a reading from Lynn Brown on your Facebook page of your prominent aura color and what it means for you. Make sure you tag Lynn Brown or the Are You Into It Facebook page with your photo so Lynn can find you. Visit intuitapparel.com today and wear your intuition with pride.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We are here with Nicholas Vasili, as I said before, and he is sharing some insight about the journey that he is on to bring a play that he has certainly created and is producing, and what is going on in the journey that he's on to do that. What are the challenges? What are the trials? What are the tribulations? And then what the heck is he going to do about them? But before we get into that, Nicholas, one of the things I think it's important to say is to let folks know that you have found a venue for the play. So I think we should update everyone on that.
The play is going to be presented at the Palladium, which is part of Hale's Brewery in Fremont, at 4301 Leary Way Northwest, Seattle 98107. The play dates remain the early play dates remain the same. We open officially on Friday, July 8th at 7:30 p.m. And following the play, there will be a champagne reception, a free champagne reception for everyone there. And then we perform on Saturday, the 9th of July, and we're offering a special 2-for-1 event. Buy 2 tickets, you get 1 free. And on Sunday, July 10th, to accommodate all the people who may not be able to afford a ticket or pay $25 for something like that, it's going to be make a reservation at Brown paper tickets, and come to the box office and donate whatever you like. $1, $5, $10, whatever you like. We'd like as many people to come as possible. So those are the play dates, and that's where we're going to be.
You know, I think this opens up a number of questions. And I before we get to what you're actually going to do about this, Nicholas, I think it's really important, to talk about, or at least try to remember, had you heard of anything like this happening before? I mean, is this kind of new to you, or, when have you heard about something quite of this magnitude happening? Can you recall anything? I was thinking about that from my own upbringing.
I can. In fact, okay. I sent an email response to someone who is the vice chair of Cornish named Larry Hard, who sent me another email yesterday. And I mentioned they're terrified because I've got this document and because they're afraid I'm going to reveal the truth about how they blacklisted a play, how an educational institution devoted to the fine arts has blacklisted a play here in Seattle. And in response to him, and I said, you have stifled the opinions of your own people. How long do you think you can get away with it? And here's the answer to your question, Dr. Pat. I recall a similar situation some 10 or 13 years ago when the corrupt head of KCTS tried to continually buffalo its staff and administration. They finally revolted against it, and when it came down to the wire, the public intervened, and I was among those who testified at a public hearing against a lot of them and brought them down in disgrace. And Cornish, the same is due to you. The same thing happened back then. People try to buffalo people, intimidate them into doing what they want to do. In this case, they don't want to present a play because for whatever reason, whatever attitudes they have about it, and that I don't know because they refuse to reveal any of it. So that's the background of that. And as far as what I'm going to continue to do, I'm going to do what I'm doing right now. We're going to publicize this. We're going to let the public know on every level in our advertisements and our promotion that this is a play that was banned by both Cornish and the Taproot Theater, and that cannot be acceptable on any level. And from there, we're going to go ahead. I'm contacting the ACLU. I'm going to talk to them. We're going to do everything in our power to really get this message across primarily to the students at Cornish so they can be awakened to what's going on under their noses. They're going to be trained to follow the same patterns unless they recognize that it's happening right in their own school.
I want to get back to what you were sharing in the first segment and what you were talking about for people that may be just tuning in. What I'm not clear about, and I think this is important to talk about, is, I know that there have been points in time in my life where people have walked up to me and said, nope, I'm not letting you say that. Or nope, I'm not letting you do that. Or nope, you're not allowed to carry that sign. Or nope, if you carry that sign in that parade, you are going to be fired. Right? By the way, if you go down and you burn your bra, you will be fired if we get a picture of you. I mean, I could go on, but let's not. the thing that I'm a little confused about is that, I've been able to deal with that when people have come forth and have said to me, "You cannot do that," because then I know what then I know what I'm up against.
Exactly.
But I'm not clear, and maybe you're not clear, and maybe our listeners are not clear about this very interesting, what seems to be a tactical approach to create a level of silence. Can you talk about that a little bit again?
Yeah, it is a tactical approach.
Okay.
Again, this is nothing new. It goes back to the McCarthy era when they used the same exact tactics between McCarthy and J. Edgar Hoover. They decided they were going to legislate the morality of America by banning anyone from working in the industry who had any connection to anything what they considered to be leftist or not conservative American traditional ideas and attitudes politically and otherwise. So they got away with it for years. Thousands and thousands of people were put out of work. People were terrified of losing their jobs, just as the people at Cornish are frightened of losing their jobs. The two people who created the booking for this agreement know the truth, but they're afraid to open their mouths. Everyone at Cornish is afraid. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Now, I can't explain the details about what they're afraid of because, again, they refuse to say a word. They will not say, we're doing this, we did this because of this, that, or the other thing. And that's the real crux of the matter. They're so cowardly they won't even tell the truth about their actions. Instead, they want you to sign some document saying you absolve them of any responsibility and they could do it to you again at the drop of a hat. So how do you explain that? You can't. How do you explain human behavior and the human condition and why we live in the world we live in? What makes us think it's any different here in Seattle at an educational institution? It happens everywhere.
Well, I have to tell you that, and this is just really what happens in broadcasting. If you listen to this show or you listen to, the network owners will come on and they'll say, oh, gosh, Benny, I can't even remember it. But what they say is that this is, even on television, they say this is a message that's, being produced by the sponsor and whatever their caveat is that they say. I mean, wouldn't that have sufficed?
Yeah, but again, this is part of the whole process of intimidation. And what is so sickening, as I've said several times, is a slumlord wouldn't dare to try and get away with something like this. A slumlord would say to you, hey, you're going to sign a leasing agreement to rent this apartment, and at the bottom of the agreement is going to be a little note saying, I can cancel this agreement and throw you out tomorrow, and I don't even have to tell you why.
Oh, that kind of agreement.
That's what this is.
We have employment at will. This is leasing at will.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And here, again, an educational institution devoted to the fine arts, which should be the last bastion of freedom of speech in the world. For the artist, the singer, the dancer, the actor, the musician, the comic, they will stand in front of an audience and express what they feel and think and believe in. That's what our democracy is supposed to be about. And here we have Cornish saying, throw that one out. We don't accept it. We want only our way. You obey that or get out.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit confused because Cornish is the College of the Arts, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That makes it even stranger, doesn't it? Cornish is more a college of lawyers, it seems. It seems they're more dedicated to legal matters than they are to the fine arts.
You and I, well, at least I know, I grew up in colleges and schools of the arts in New York City.
Right.
And I have a sense of what that means. So you may not like Yoko Ono's cross of nails that she created, but you're certainly not going to not let her display that, right, and so forth and so on. I wanted to have you talk about, what do you do from here? What are you going to do? I mean, do you try to find out? Like, what is it?
We're going to continue.
What do you do?
We're going to follow the same path we're following, the path of truth, the path of confrontation, of honesty, of direct going to the public and saying, this is what happened, and we want you to support us. We want you to support the play because this is what the play is about. It's about Cornish. It's about Taproot. It's about people who don't believe in their country enough to allow freedom of speech. That's what it's about, and we'll continue on every level. As I said, I'm contacting ACLU. We're going to be taking out advertisements. We're going to make it as public as possible, and we're going to continue that. And we're going to also do a video of the play, which we're going to get to Hollywood. We're looking to make this into a major movie, and when we make that movie, we're going to let it be known that this is the play that was banned by a College of Fine Arts in Seattle, and let the public then voice its own opinion. That's the whole idea behind it. We want the public to join in this finally, get involved. It is your reality, not just mine. If my freedom of speech is not recognized, then yours is not recognized. If my play can be banned, then any play can be banned. We're going to go right back to the 1950s with these people.
Well, and you know, I'm curious about this because it sounds like you were working with either the head of the organization, right? And I don't know if you know this, but they do have an inclusivity and diversity committee at Cornish as well. And, you know, many of us know that whenever you're working with an organization, at least from my human resource experience, is that you have the executives of your company and they go off and they do A, B, C, D. You can have your board members, you can have your cabinet, you can have your chairs, you can have your advisory, you can have your council, you can have your provost. And the question really becomes, where is the check and balance for things? Let's take a short break, Nicholas. When we come back,
Sure.
We've got more to talk about. Nicholas is going to share his story. And, you know, we're going to tell you again how the venue has changed, how you can get tickets, and much more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Song of the Heart, Walking the Path of Light, from author and healer Francine Vale, is available now. Through Francine's life story, we learn how imperative it is to love one another. Once this simple truth is learned, peace on earth will prevail. Song of the Heart is a life lived and a story told for this purpose. To learn more about Francine and her amazing gifts, or to order your copy of the book today, visit angelsandlightbeings.com.
The Doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and for a special broadcast the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hey everyone, this is Dr. Pat. I wanted to tell you about a new, powerful, and compelling play by Nicholas Vasili, coming to Seattle July 8th at the Palladium at Hale's Brewery, the United States of China.
On one hand, a dedicated American patriot who would give her life for her country. On the other hand, someone who has been battling the injustice and corruption of America most of her life. And she is as confused as any American could be about what she truly believes in. My play, The United States of China, is about the trial of Miriam Hopkins, who is a metaphor for all that America stands for.
This is more than a play experience. It's a movement. It's a movement to create a new level of awareness. Knowledge is power, and we are powerful. Get your tickets today at americathestrong.com. Hey, everybody, welcome back. I want to just let everybody know we're going to make sure all of you have updated information about the play. Nicholas Vasili joining me here today. And, you know, it's Vasili with the V. It's funny, right? You know, he's Nicholas Vasili. I am Pat Basili. Boom. We couldn't plan that any better.
No.
But, you know, one of the things we want to talk about is the venue. But before we do, I would love to bring our caller on because I don't like to keep callers waiting. I know they're busy, too, and they're driving around. So let's do that. Mr. Benny, would you mind?
Yeah, we'll take Christine from Seattle. Christine, hello.
Hi, Christine. Welcome to the show.
Pat, you are such an angel, and I love your guest. Both of you are awesome today. Wonderful, wonderful information.
Thank you.
I wanted to make a quick comment.
Sure.
I don't know if it is super quick, but I wanted to say...
Take your time. I want to hear your comment. We both do.
Oh, thank you. You know, I feel as though, I mean, you know, we live in Seattle. It's a wonderful place. I love Seattle. I love my town.
Yeah.
But I also feel like in the last 10 years, I've become... and I feel like I have to come out as Gay Pride Day is coming up. I'm gay. I'm a woman. Yeah. I'm a minority. I'm middle-aged, and I feel like I have to come out as a conservative because I am a conservative. And what I have to say about that is our freedom of speech is so incredibly important, and this is part of the reason I am a conservative. I feel as though this is such an interesting play, and I was just reading some of the content of what the play is about. The conflicting feelings of how do we stand for our country, but yet stand for the things we want to see changed in our country. What a concept. This is something I feel that I have been battling with the last 10 years in myself. And what I have to say is we cannot stand for the demise of our own country through the censorship, through the divisiveness, through the cutting someone else down because of what they believe or think, instead of having a conversation. This is so important. And as, you know, Pat, you know, you're in radio, I'm in radio, yeah. And the thing is that the more I see some of these things that happen between people, between the liberalism and the conservatism, it should not be a divisive thing. We should be having these conversations because we are the country. We are the country. The politicians are not the country. The government is not the country. Other countries are not our country. We are the country. And this is the time for us to stand up, say the things we need to say, and we need to address those who don't want those things to be said. We need to be asking the questions. What are you getting for us not saying what we need to say? What are you getting for you not saying what you need to say? What is the trade-off? When you talk about the United States of China, and, you know, my show on July 4th will be called Americonsciousness, we need to get back to what it is, why our forefathers came here, what are we doing here, and why did they come here not knowing exactly how they were going to set up this country, and yet excited about making something that was beyond the slavery, the tyranny, and everything that everybody in the world leaves, basically, to come here for. What do they come here for? And I'll tell you what they come here for.
I got to interrupt you, dear heart. I got to interrupt you because time is fleeting, and I think you've made your point, and I'm delighted to have heard it, and I hope you will come to the play, and I hope you'll direct your comments to Cornish because they're so, so important. But I want you to allow, unless you've got a question to ask me, I want you to allow me to continue because I've got so much more to cover.
I would ask him a question, Christine, because I know you've got one.
Well, my question is that I know it seems as though you're going to go all out and do everything you can to get this out there. Are you going to do the same amount of work just for the right to speak, just for everyone to have their say and not be so divisive in our country? I guess that's my question.
I've been doing that throughout my life. And
nice
I will
question.
continue
Good.
doing it. I'm 79 years old, and I'm raring to go, and this is why I'm on this radio program today saying what I'm saying. We've got to stay with what we believe in. We've drifted away from that. We're polarized, and these people at Cornish and Taproot want to further polarize us. And you alluded to the question of why. The simple answer is for power and control over the people, so we will not think, so that we will not stand up against this tyranny. That's the answer to why. They don't just want money. They have money. They want the power and control, and that's what Cornish wants. In this document, we want power and control to dictate terms to you, and you have no right to say anything about it. That's what it's about.
I will support you in making my comments there in those two theaters. Thank you so much, and listen, you guys have a great
Christine.
day.
Thank you very
so much.
And again, if you don't mind, Nicholas, please let folks know, okay, it's not going to be at Cornish. So enough talk about that for the moment. Where is it going to be? Because we really want folks to know where it's going to be and how they can get the tickets.
The Palladium here in Fremont. It's part of Hale's Brewery at 4301 Leary Way, Northwest Seattle, 98107. You can go online to http://theusofchina.bpt.me. That's the brown paper box of tickets, and you can order tickets there for July 8th, the opening night, which will be followed by a lovely champagne reception and meeting the entire cast. Then the 9th, it will be playing again at 7:30 at the Palladium, and that will be a 2-for-1 night. Anyone buying 2 tickets gets 1 free. And then Sunday, July 10th, again at the Palladium, the U.S. of China, and that one you have to reserve with brown paper tickets, and you can come at the box office and donate whatever you'd like. And that will all go to the cast, by the way.
Yeah, and Christine, if you're listening to this show, I want you to call me. You have my phone number, because I want you and I to do a show exactly on what you were talking about, because I want your voice to be heard, and heard in a way that I think you and I can get that done, because it is a bigger conversation than this. But what a great place, unfortunately, to kick the conversation off in the year 2016. June of 2016, we're still talking about this. I thought, my gosh, really? 2016, we're talking about this. And I want to get back to what you were talking about here, okay? We're talking about this in 2016. You got to enlighten me, Nicholas, here. You got to enlighten me that we're talking about this, and we're talking about it in, wait a minute, the liberal city of Seattle.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what that even means now. But can you help us understand this? Because I think we got to get beyond the anger, beyond the frustration. We got to get to, like, OMG. Please.
You have to see the actual reality of things. And whether it's labeled liberalism or conservatism, it doesn't matter. The reality is what actually exists. What exists in Seattle are huge corporations. We have the conglomerates here. We have Microsoft and Boeing and Amazon.com. We've got more building and construction going up everywhere. We've got so much wealth it's beyond imagination, and yet we have such a huge number of homeless people, including veterans standing on corners with cardboard signs. That's what Seattle has also. When we did the video for our Indiegogo crowdfunding back in November, we went to Nicholsville on Dearborn Avenue, and they invited us inside, and I was back in the Depression era where I grew up, right in the middle of Seattle. That's what it's about. We're not seeing the full picture. We're just seeing all the wealth and the fancy cars and the fancy homes. But here we have the truth. It is much more than that. It is deplorable for so many people who are homeless, for so many people who have jobs where they're going no place, for so many people who cannot find decent housing because it's not being built anymore. It's being torn down. We have all of these things going on, and in the midst of it, I'm trying to do a play which is a wake-up call for America saying, hey, it can happen here, it's happening here, and we have an educational institution saying, we will not allow you the right of free speech. We're going to stop you cold. And that's what they have attempted to do, and I'm asking all the people listening, cry out against this. Contact Cornish and demand an explanation for this horrendous kind of thing that they're doing, not only to me, but to their own students and faculty. Everyone is involved in this. And beyond that, please come to see the play. You'll really enjoy it. It's going to really awaken you to a lot of things going on in this country and in the world, and something going on within yourself. It's a very personal kind of thing. So again, the Palladium, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, July 8th, 9th, and 10th. Join us. We look forward to meeting with you.
I want to just ask the audience a question, and you can go research this yourself. We're going to take a short break here. What do you think Nellie Cornish would have thought of all this? Nellie, Nellie, as I like to call her, Nellie Cornish. What would we think Nellie Cornish would think of all this? Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Pat. I wanted to tell you about a new, powerful, and compelling play by Nicholas Vasili. Coming to Seattle, July 8th at the Palladium at Hale's Brewery, the United States of China.
On one hand, a dedicated American patriot who would give her life for her country. On the other hand, someone who has been battling the injustice and corruption of America most of her life. And she is as confused as any American could be about what she truly believes in. My play, The United States of China, is about the trial of Miriam Hopkins, who is a metaphor for all that America stands for.
This is more than a play experience. It's a movement. It's a movement to create a new level of awareness. Knowledge is power, and we are powerful. Get your tickets today at americathestrong.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
TheAngelLady.net. 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 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790. Sue Storm. TheAngelLady.net.
A word of caution, if you prefer the status quo and you are not interested in improving every aspect of your life, this book will trigger the shift out of you. The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens is available now. Author Colette Steffen brings the powerful knowledge and life-changing energy and empowerment from the radio airwaves to the pages of her new book. To get your copy in paperback or ebook, visit thetruthisfunny.com today.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Hey, everyone. It's so great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. And, you know, I just want to say, I was just telling Nicholas, dude, Mr. Nicholas, out of all the people that got chosen to really have this particular thing happen, you could not have been the better choice. Because in the world we live in today, and Christine said it beautifully. I love Christine. And by the way, I hope she gets you on her show. She said it beautifully. You know, we are tiptoeing around things. We're tiptoeing around. And out of all the people that could have been selected to have this happen to, you are the right person. And here's why. Because you are not going to go quietly in the night. And, you know, what I want to say is that not only that, what you have done is you've created a special offer now. So it's this. So this is not just about, well, wait a minute. We're going to change the venue. You come out, you reduce the prices, and then I think you have some special offer that you can buy two and get one, something like that. I mean, you're not just doing this, Nicholas.
No,
you're like, wait a minute.
We're trying to get everyone to come to the Palladium to see the play, and we're talking to people who can afford to buy a ticket for $25. We're talking to people who are going to get buy two tickets and get one free, and we're talking to people who want to see this but can't afford that kind of range. They'll come on Sunday. Just make sure you make a reservation. It won't cost you anything, and get to the box office and drop in whatever you have, and that'll go to the cast members, not to me. We want bodies out there. We want people filling the seats to hear and see this play and to come away with an understanding about what is actually taking place and how we can finally wake up America and perhaps save it. That's what the play is really about. And this incident with Cornish exemplifies exactly what is going on in this country and what the play is about. In a way, I'm almost thankful that this happened, because it's a way of showing the world, out of X, here it is right in Seattle at this college.
Well, I mean, I really want to point to this. There are price changes, and we're going to be talking about it. I think Sunday the 10th, you have something that you pay at the door or something here.
Right.
But you have to make a reservation.
You have to make a reservation because there's only room for 300 people at the theater. So you have to go to the usofchina.bpt.me. That's brown paper tickets, and make a reservation for Sunday the 10th, and come to the box office and drop in whatever you can as a donation for the cast and see the play, and we're going to welcome you with open arms.
So, for those of you out there, this is really quite extraordinary. And, what Nicholas and his team has done is they've said, we're not going to turn anybody away. So if you're thinking, what am I doing July 10th? Well, you're going to go there. You make your reservation, but when you come, you can pay what you want at the door. I love this because, see, this is what I love. What is the answer, the antidote to this? What is the antidote to this? It is like, oh, my gosh, what an opportunity to do something we hadn't done before, but to make this an opportunity that people from all walks of life can experience. Nicholas, you and I were talking before during a break, and we've talked about the change in venue. We've talked about what you did, to open the door for people that perhaps did not have the money to come before, but now you do. All of you out there, please make sure you do register. The other thing is that when people are looking at this, the question's going to be, what's next, Nicholas? What is next for you? I know you're talking about doing this and doing that, but please remind everybody that you made a conscious decision with your team. You're not going to go quietly in the night. So tell us again.
No, we're going to continue. We're going to stay with the faith, with what we believe in, not let anything interfere with that. And I've got a lot on my plate to continue with. Beside the play, we're going to, again, do the video and do everything in our power to make a full-length movie out of it, a feature film in Hollywood. And then I'm going to go on a little vacation for myself and come back, and then I've got a whole new task before me. I'm going to go to the trouble, the time, the energy that I am also directed to by the universe to follow, and that is to create an association to battle the war against drugs, to finally fight against that and get that eradicated. prevent any further damage to millions of people throughout the world by the pharmaceutical industry and the rest. So that's on my plate next, and while at the same time I'm going to be pushing the play and writing more and more about it. So I've got a lot to do.
And for those out there, how can people get involved? I mean, I know this is probably a little premature to kind of ask you about this at this point. I mean, clearly you heard Christine, who happened to be listening to the show, and there she is, right? Just all fired up about it. And I'm sure there are other listeners thinking, really, did this just happen in Seattle? I don't know if you're going to be creating a way for people to comment or how that's going to work. But clearly, Nicholas, people do want to do something. I think we're all a little shocked at the moment, to be honest with you.
Beyond being shocked, a lot of people have allowed themselves to think along the lines of, I'd love to do something, but what can I do? We're faced with this monolithic structure called government and all of the bureaucracy involved and the lawyers. What can we do? We've got to remember that we're free human beings, and we've got to understand what freedom really is. And freedom and democracy are not what we are allowing ourselves to think it is. We've been put into a corner where we're forced to choose between one or two millionaire or billionaires who are going to be our leader, as opposed to understanding that freedom and democracy, which was born in Greece, was based on the idea of people being involved in their democracy, not merely placing a vote every 2 or 4 years. So if people really care, they should get involved. And again, I'm telling people, bombard Cornish with emails, with letters, with calls, and demand an explanation. Get them to come out of hiding, to put aside their legal puppets and face the truth. And come to the play. Come to the play. Please, we'd love to have everyone there. Be my guest. I don't want to turn away anyone. July 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Palladium here in Fremont, 4301 Leary Way. Go online, usofchina.bpt.me, and reserve tickets. Love you all.
Wow. Nicholas, thank you so much for today. And I know that I can only imagine what your team is going through right now. I mean, here are people that believe in what they do. They believe in their craft. Probably, have never thought in a million years in their lifetime that they would experience something like this. I mean, after all, this is the arts out of all the places, right? Right. This is the arts, and I wouldn't even know what to say, to your team that have given so much, but I know that you do, right?
Right, and they're working their butts off because when this happened, of course, it derailed all of the plans we had made for so very long. We spent so much money on advertising, promotion, posters, cards, setting up social media, everything. And these people derailed it completely without thought, without concern for anybody, and not even with the decency to explain why. So we were really set back, and the result of that is that everyone had to work 3 times as hard. We were fortunate enough to get another venue, and we had to change all of our plans, but we've made it. We're on board, and we're going to be opening. That's the most important thing. The show must go on, and it will go on, in spite of Cornish or Taproot or any legal beavers are going to try and stop us.
Yeah, and I do want to mention the team here at the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio, because they relentlessly went in and changed all of the work that they had done. They never questioned it. They never complained about it. And they met this with a vengeance to change all of the commercials, promotions, banners, links, everything that we had done. And I do want to mention them, because at the heart of all of this, there is a freedom here. And whether you listen into this and you think I'm not affected by this, right, Nicholas, think again.
Yes, we are all affected. We're all in the same world, same society, same community, and we've all got going back to the 1960s saying, either we're part of resolving it or part of the problem. It's a choice that every individual has to make. And don't just sit there and say, well, I wish I could do something. You can do 2 things. You can raise your voice against Cornish and Taproot for what they did, and you can see the play.
Oh, thank you, Nicholas. Thank you so much. And again, folks, you're going to hear throughout the weeks, I should say, ongoing. We're going to make sure we're giving you the new information, how to get your tickets, also tell you about the prices now, this pay it forward, this pay what you want at the door on the 10th. You must reserve. I mean, the team here for this, Nicholas and the team, have made this absolutely easy and seamless for everyone. Nicholas, thank you for all that you do.
My great pleasure, Dr. Pat.
Thank you all. You know what? We got another hour coming up. Stay tuned.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.